What is going on, YouTube? This is The Last Musketeer, and we're picking up right where we left off with the last video. So now, while I'm doing some of the extra stuff I had to do for the Achieving Adventure in the background, I'm going to let you know real quick, I did flash it in the last video, talking about the Discord server. I do have a Discord up now that you can join. The link is in the description, or at least the invite. I don't know if it'll link straight from there, but either way, it's in the description of this video. So if you want to join, feel free. Any suggestions and things you have in there are different sections where you can suggest things and just talk amongst each other and help each other out, that kind of thing. So available to anyone that comes in. Now, with that aside, we're getting into the video. So right now what we're doing is doing some reforging for one of the steps of the Achieving Adventurer, and basically this is going to take my gear a step beyond what it was. So this is basically how you're going to get the in-game gear. I would assume you can't go higher than this, though I could be wrong. This is the farthest I've really done with any gear farming, but it does require a lot to do this. 350k gold as well per piece, which is quite a lot, so you can tell that it is the end game style. But this is going to actually push me a little bit further. Most of the pieces that I leveled up here are actually on Politis, so that is going to help her tremendously going forward in PvP. And once we do all this and get her to the max, I'm going to show you some more PvP fights. I know that's what a lot of the content seems to be as of late. I do Abyss, I do Arena, I do other things. If there's something else you want me to include in this, I will 100%. And like I said, I'm going to try to do more character building, to try to throw in some weird runs for things, do some extra Wyvern off-meta teams, stuff like that. And, well, not just Wyvern, but some of the other hunt bosses as well. I want to build some off-meta teams for people that watch this that may not have the best options for clearing some of this, or you see it and you see something interesting that you'd like to add. Maybe I can find something that will help my clear speeds be insanely fast in comparison, and just weird setups. I like to build stuff like that. So right now we're selecting the Fierce Fire connection out of this, hoping to get a 5-star. It is guaranteed 4 to 5. My luck in when I was doing the Is It Worth It series was insane. Ever since then, it has not. Now, I don't know if it's just karma or what, but it is a bit unfortunate in that sense. But we still got a decent lineup, so I'm not worried about that in the slightest. This is the last piece I needed. I had to look around and see what I had to level up. Now, these pieces, some of them might not be the very best, but they were all good pieces. And not to mention, I hit level 61 during this, so I unlocked the hard Mulligora challenge, and basically everything in here, other than the expedition, I had already full completed. So I'm just getting all these juicy rewards just for basically no work, because I had already done them before. So that's a lot of XP, a lot of Mulligoras, and I just need to do a lot of expeditions now. But expeditions are a little harder for me right now, as I need to work up a lot of teams to make them a bit stronger. Look at all those juicy rewards. That's mainly just from the Mulligora challenge. That is fantastic. But either way, we also got some from the Achieving Adventurer, and we're trying to work this one to the next step. And the main thing is, the more that I can get up, the better odds I'm going to have in the Abyss. I know some of them don't roll the best. Obviously that one was one of those ones where I'm like, might not want to take it up, but the effectiveness is extremely strong, plus I get some crit out of it, which is going to help a ton. So all in all, I think it is still a decent piece, though it did spread out the benefits a bit more. And for the free 5-star from the Achieving Adventurer, I got a Runka, and I don't know necessarily where I'll use her. She seems to be good against Barrier in probably PvP. The thing is, I have Operator Secret, who is probably much better overall, because this one also can't trigger a crit. So I may build her at some point and see what she can potentially do, because I feel like there is something out there that would be really nice for her. Not to mention the fact that she has bleed on her kit could be really nice. It's just something I have to test out, and that'll be a little bit down the road before I get to her. But getting these 6 gold transmit stones is fantastic. Obviously using them to do another Moonlight summon is nice. And also, running both the Earth and the Fire connections that I had, I unfortunately only got a 4-star for both of them. Though, new heroes are always appreciated, and Kawano is actually one that I wanted. I really do like her kit. I think she has a lot of capabilities. So at some point, she definitely will go up. And I've tested her out, see just what she can do. And for this one, this is the Pity that I just rolled here. Unfortunately, once again, a 4-star, and Assassin Sid, looking at her kit, his kit, I should say, is not bad. It's mainly based on speed, it seems, and it has some decent, maybe some decent uses in PvP. Probably not anything that I'm going to work on for quite a while, but I'll take a new hero. And also, one of the biggest upgrades that I made was the promotion to 6-star for Politis. Now this one's going to be huge, because as you can see, she's at 102k power. I need to get the -1 turn cooldown, and I also need to get the effect chance after, so I'm going to have to do a bit more band farming, or ring farming, whatever that thing is exactly called, going forward, because I don't need it just for Politis, I also need it for Briar Witch, and so everything gets a bit expensive going forward. I'm not too concerned about getting it right now, but I know that it's going to be a big jump up in just what she can accomplish, because most of the time you're not going to get a second usage out of the cooldown off that. There may be cases where, I guess if you were using somebody that could reduce the cooldown, like a Saria, then potentially you could throw it off twice, but you also have to be fast enough. Most of the time, you're not going to try to get a second attack out of a certain hero. You're going to use her for her ultimate ability, and then also for the passive, mainly. The first hit, you know, the first skill, probably not used all that much. But once again, I need to get my arena team to a point where it can actually take things out very quickly, and getting her attack up higher is going to be very crucial to that point, because she does hit extremely hard, honestly. I'm going to show you a couple runs. This is in Master 1 currently, because the reset happened and it put me a little bit back to Master 3, so I farmed my way up here. And I'm going to show you just what she's capable of. Some of these might not be the best showcase for the damage. The next arena fight, I'll show you just what she can do. Because this one, this team is, 3 of them she has element disadvantage, so she did not hit any of them. She missed with all that, lost a lot of the damage, which is fine. I've got Vildred for dealing with that currently, but it's still annoying. And also, I hate dealing with like extremely tanky Angelicas or Angelic Montmorencies, Carrot as well. These heroes really just waste my time half the time, because they're not going to beat me. They're literally just going to make it take longer for me to finish that actual run. But here I'll get a little stronger showing of Politis, because she only has 1 elemental disadvantage here in Yuna, but it's not going to make a difference because she is not going to miss the second hit, so you can kind of get an idea of what this hits for me currently. One of them was defense down, that was Yuna, and she took a lot of damage. If I can land that 100% and potentially maybe get somebody else like Conqueror Lilius to get that early attack up, that's going to make Politis hit like an absolute nuke. Now, I don't know if that's the most efficient way to run an arena team, because it'll be a bit goofy of a setup, and of course if she has elemental disadvantage, that's going to make it a lot harder. So I'll work around. I'll see what I can find. Obviously, if I had like Arbiter Vildred or somebody like that, it would be a good setup with those two, because they would be really hard to deal with. But this one I slowed down because I wanted to show you fully just what she does. Now, dealing with evasion can be annoying. Briar Witch's area can take care of that. If I wanted to get her to a very high attack and crit damage, I could also make her hit extremely hard. There's plenty of options that I have, but you see there, she wipes Arbiter Vildred, Briar Witch's area passive, make sure he can't revive, so they're big damage dealers taking out immediately. Something else I wanted to try with Spectre Tenebria, setting up some type of dual attack team. Maybe not for arena in particular. It could work potentially, but I'd like to try a dual attack in Abyss, or doing some hunt runs maybe, or some labs, because I think a dual attack team could be nuts if I can get them set up correctly for making sure that Spectre Tenebria actually gets to do all the dual attacking. Much akin to everything else, it is a work in progress. And now I'm going to show this real quick, because this is the actual first one I did on World Arena. Now, I don't know exactly how this works if it's a new season or what, but this first guy I found really put into perspective just how hard it's going to be for me to do this, because they absolutely slap me around. Now, one thing is, I tried to look for a specific hero in here, and maybe she's not a 5-star initially. I thought she was, but I couldn't quite find her. And as you see from the profile picture over there on the right side for the person that I'm going against, that was the one I was trying to ban. Maybe there's certain ones that rotate that you can't ban in specific seasons or something like that. Potentially could be the case. I wanted to ban that one because I knew more than likely they were going to pull that hero out. Now I could, if I pre-ban it, then I can pick something else to get rid of. And as you see, it pops in there now, and I know that's going to be a nightmare. Karina, however you say that, AE Karina, is also going to be insanely hard to deal with. So if I could have got rid of their 2 main damage dealers off a ban from the pre-ban screen and then a ban getting rid of Karina, I would have been a lot better off. I think I might have been able to survive it. Yeah, they have other options for damage, but the main thing is that at this point they were too hard to deal with. I need more effect resistance, maybe somebody that goes fast enough to prevent getting debuffed. I need some type of really fast immunity champ for these. As you see here, I get slapped by Karina and just nukes my entire team. Politis is gone. The rest of them are low, other than Angelic, because she's fairly tanky. She's one of my tankiest heroes currently. Really, they just slapped me straight back to regular arena. I got dumpstered, but it's a good showcase because this is going to be like the high-level gameplay. You're going to run into some really rough people in this. Some people that are going to have some insane squads, and especially if everybody's starting from the placements at the same time, which may be the case, I'm not sure. You're going to run into some wells, more than likely, that will absolutely diminish every bit of progress you felt like you had. But like I said, we'll get to a point where we feel like we can compete against this, and, you know, maybe people can talk about in the comments their teams that they use for World Arena, because that could be really important for me to understand just what might be the meta for these, because I don't look up anything like that. And now that the Is It Worth It series is over, I probably should. But either way, we're doing run 75 on Abyss, and this was actually after I put Spectre Tenebria in there, and she has like almost 300% crit damage. She's got like 3k attack, 3.3k, which is not great, but not too bad, because she does get the stat stick essentially from her secondary skill, where anytime anything gets knocked out, she is going to get a boost of stats. So it stacks up to 5 times, it starts at 7%, giving you basically, you know, 35% at level 1. If I enhance it all the way, I believe it's 10%, so that will give me an insane amount of extra stats. 50% extra attack and defense is insane, but already you can see just how hard she's hitting with these regular attacks. It is nuts. The poison, of course, is based on max health of the enemy, so anything that strong is going to take a lot of damage from that as well. I also use the Daydream Joker as her card or artifact. I don't know if that's the best option. There's probably some other ones that I can work for. Maybe I could apply an artifact to her that has a chance of applying an extra poison. I think having that on most of the squad that I run Abyss with would probably be really good, just because since it is percentage max health, all of them get way more value, even if they have no attack damage themselves. If they hit and proc that poison, that is an instant ton of damage. I think this one, Euphine, is actually taking around 20k per poison proc, which is a lot of damage, obviously. So having Angelic just hit once and get a poison on there for 20k is huge. But there's probably other ways where I can stack a little more damage with another lineup. I still want to try to keep the defense down. I want some type of survivability, so I want to keep Angelic Montmorency in there as long as possible. And the one that would probably get replaced is Vildred, more than likely, but that's floor 75 done in like a minute's time. So last week, or the week before that, the video that I put out prior to this, it would take me like 10 minutes to actually clear an Abyss floor at like 67. So you can already see just the drastic improvement that Spectre Tenebria brings to a lineup. The difference is insane, and I am so happy that I actually used her, the Moonlight Blessing thing for her instead of the Armored Wizard, because that's what I was going to do initially, and then someone in the comments a long time ago told me I should go for Tenebria instead. She seems to be the better option, and so I'm glad I did. So making these runs easier and doing these, basically I could do these on auto if I wanted. I do watch just to make sure that if it's going wrong, that I can do something to prevent it, because I don't think the AI, unless I need to change something in the settings, I don't believe the AI actually uses the burn mechanic to use your souls. So if I wanted to heal everybody with Angelic Montmorency and get the immunity on everybody, I'd have to do it manually. So a bit annoying. Maybe there is a setting I should actually look through just to make sure, because I could be wrong this whole time. But also, having the soul burn for Tenebria actually gives her an extra turn. So if you have a lot of them built up, you can just spam her abilities over and over, stack a bunch of poison, and the next time it attacks, it just gets obliterated. Floor 76 completed. Get a nice reward. Actually, these ones that you get from the levels, the gear drops, are actually usually pretty well rolled, since they are a static roll. They're not going to change. At least I believe. Maybe I should double check that. But either way, I believe they are static, so you should get some pretty decent gear on that if you need it. This one, I believe, is lifesteal gear. It can come in handy in certain locations. Not always what you need, but sometimes you don't have quite enough survivability to do something, so you could sacrifice a little damage if you need, just to guarantee that your team can sustain, because at the end of the day, no amount of damage you do matters if your team cannot stay alive through the entire run. But I'm going to go ahead and let this one play out and stop talking so that you can watch this one without me just talking over it constantly. Alright, and with that, she is out the door. That's as far as I've got on Abyss so far. I haven't done my stuff today yet, so I plan to get to 80 off of today. Maybe by next week I can get to 90 or something. It just depends on how much harder it gets at this point, because I know it's going to ramp up quite a lot. But as you can see here, it's just an overview of my character. Politis is 120k with 269% crit hit damage. 3100 attack. I can boost that attack a lot, and obviously I'm using 2 speed pieces without having the full speed set, so there's some changes I'm going to make to her at some point when I get good replacements for those speed pieces, and then I'll be able to just absolutely destroy with that extra speed, because right now I need her to be at least like 210, 220 for her to be super effective in most of these battles. Because if I wanted to go damage, I could change the speed boots out for extra attack or something, but she really needs a lot of speed to make sure she's super effective, because landing that decreased hit chance is very imperative for arena fights. Anytime people do like lower damage to you, it's going to be a lifesaver. Now this helmet actually had a flat attack roll. Luckily, it didn't roll the flat attack at all, so that was huge. Though I would have loved to have had like effectiveness there, maybe some more health or defense would have been fine as well. Effect resistance does help for Arena, but I'm not too worried about that one. I can always run something that has a very fast speed that can put an immunity buff on me. It will make it a lot easier. And I'm looking for options for that. I know I've ran into a few in Arena that actually have some really good first turn buffs like immunity and sometimes crit resistance. Extra speed is huge, especially if you're wanting to do a cleave team, making sure you're fast enough to get everything off before the other team does. Having some type of AoE stun would be cool, but I don't know of any heroes that actually do that. I think there are some artifacts that give you a chance to stun, so if you use an AoE character, you can also have an artifact that has a stun chance on it, so it could potentially save you in a few of these runs. Now Vildred, I did unlock the imprint. I do need a lot more on him though, because he only gives +4 speed to it at the moment, but that's going to be good for Arena, at least right now. Briar Witch's area I'm really going to have to work on because she is very low in attack damage. She has less than 2k attack. It's just decent crit damage and stuff, but Spectre Tenebria, almost 300% crit hit damage, 2800 attack. That attack needs to go up for sure, but I can do that over time. And also I'm missing a lot of artifacts, so some of these are just set up with artifacts that are not that great. I should probably change out, since Briar Witch does so little damage right now, I should probably change out her artifact to do more of a situational thing, like extra effectiveness or something like that. Might be a little better overall. And I'd use Daydream Joker on her, as I've said before, because it seems to be the best option right now. If I can get a poison one by chance, then that would be really good as well. But I'm going to have to look around for that. I am still missing a ton of artifacts, some of them that are really crucial for a lot of PvP, a lot of in-game activities. But she is pretty decently set up. That crit damage is insane, so all the stack boosts that she gets, especially if I can get her attack over 3500 when she gets that stat stick from the Nightmare Illusion skill, she's going to hit like an absolute nuke. And once again, it's just getting those bands, those rings that I'm missing. I did a lot of farming for it before. I'm going to have to do a lot more farming for it again, because there is a lot of them to do overall, which isn't honestly that bad. The stages are very quick, and I can also get them from the unrecorded history side story, so that's going to make it to where not only am I farming it from the stage, but I'm also gaining a lot of AP to turn them in for more of those. So essentially, I'm going to have a pretty decently easy time doing that. Now, one thing I have on artifacts for Conqueror Lilies is the one that has a chance to reset the cooldown of something, not trigger the cooldown, which doesn't really necessarily work for her like I think it would. In general, it only works if it was skill 2, because if you reset skill 3 with that, she basically just does it again. She gets an extra turn off of that. Yeah, I guess if an attack down doesn't land, that might be useful in situations, but since it is so low of a chance to do it, it is kind of pointless on her unless it rolls the second ability. So that's something I'll have to change out for sure as well. Bad Cat Armin is another one that I need to work up. I leveled up her skills already because I like what she does, and I was planning on making a team with her very early on, and I just waited because realistically with the ones I have a really decent setup, so I wanted to get a strong one first before she get hers. But with the extra attack chances that she has, she can actually do a lot, and she also has Provoke, which makes it very easy to stay alive. Plus the barrier to all allies is huge. Honestly, a really, really nice kit from a 4-star hero. It is a dark hero, but it's a 4-star nonetheless, so I'm happy to have it. Now, as far as specialty change, I was currently working on getting Carrot and Lorena. Lorena being one that is really good for the max health damage, but I kind of put them on the back burner for now. Researcher Carrot's going to take a little bit of time, but she's very annoying to deal with in places like Arena, so it should be cool to set up for another team. I don't have that many that I can still go through. There's a few, yes, but how many of them are going to be super useful for me right now? Probably not a lot, so I'm going to have to take my time on those and kind of plan what I want to do next before I do any any worrying about that. But as you see, we're in Challenger 5. It had just reset. I got like 1,000 Sky Stones for being in Challenger, which was huge. That's actually a really good jump from Master, but because I think Master was 420 or 460, and then I think I got like 1,000 from that. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misspeaking on that, but either way, I'm at 5,100 Sky Stones. I'm ready to pull as much as I can for the Rimuru banner, the slime banner, when it comes out. And hopefully that's soon. I don't know when that comes out, or if I find something that I want more, then I'll do that. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. It's going to be the end of the video. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.